About to get squirmy wormy in here. I have no idea the worms.
Yeah. I don't know.
What was it? What was the name of the demon? It was like
It's not Mr.
Mr. Wriggles.
Mr. Wriggles.
Mr. Wriggles.
Mr. Wriggles approves
This podcast.
this podcast. Perfect.
Okay, cool. I mean, we're recording, so go say it, and I'll press the button.
Let's
and
do it.
we are a go.
And all systems green.
Mr. Wriggles approves of this podcast.
Stay tuned for Burnaflick.
And welcome back to Burn-A-Flick. It's been another long hiatus, but now I think those days are past us for the foreseeable future.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll try to make it this more regular thing.
Yeah,
but,
we have lives. It's true.
yeah.
I also like doing things with people and you guys.
Yeah.
So.
More importantly, we want you guys to know that we have lives.
We do. We
Yeah.
exist.
Whether or not we actually do is up for debate.
Although I don't leave my house much, so that's what I'm trying to change.
Who needs to leave their house these
Yeah.
days?
Yeah, camping was fun. All right, it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
really good
you guys-
recharge.
You guys did go camping. Yeah.
It's
I was feeling a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah, but we were thinking about it
Yeah.
like, dude, this guy just got out of school and just wants to relax.
No,
And like
Yeah.
camping is relaxing, but like you like video games a lot
Yeah.
and you finally get the chance to do so, but you didn't.
I spent that entire weekend modding out Fallout 4.
Oh,
And
perfect.
I probably spent like over 10 hours downloading mods and making them work. And then I played about 40 minutes and I'm like, well, time to go to sleep.
Yeah, at Xbox Live, you just the mod's already there.
That's true. Yeah, but they're not are they the
No, they're like the fan. Some are
Are they-
fan based ones.
are they
or popular?
rated X mods?
What the hell? Really
Oh, yeah, really.
interesting?
What do you mean?
Tell Hannah all about it. She loves Fallout. Hey,
You'll totally love this. Trust me.
I'm gonna play this character, and it's gonna be massive. Be dragging glass and catching on buff out. And
It's such a vibe downloading like schlongs of Fallout. Like, and I'm like, this is, and I get to choose like what kind of how much bush there needs to be, and like whether it's circumcised or not circumcised. The mods are very comprehensive.
It's not that you're interested in what you're doing; it's interesting
It's
to do
part
it.
of the immersion.
Yeah.
When I take my character's clothes off, I want to take all of their clothes off. Is that
So the guy for like
Yeah.
playing Stellar Blade. So the joke is like, how can I play this game with one hand?
Stellar Blade does not impress me. My Skyrim was way more rated R than Stellar Blade could ever be. So I'm not impressed.
All right, let's get into.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the movie.
All right, so again, we're back here. Me, the person, and then we got
you
Jonah.
are a person.
We got,
Jonah's a person too, by the way.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes.
well, he's now a quarter of a person. He's 3/4 of a person. He's still in the reserves.
Oh yeah. We're half people.
We're half people,
But together we're one person.
with our powers
one
combined.
And, 1 3/4 of a person here.
Yeah. This is a almost 2-person podcast.
2 3/4 men.
No, 1 3/4.
1 3/4 of a man.
1.75
man.
man. Yes.
Oh, we got a new podcast name.
1.75 man.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah. You see how I did that math in my head?
Yeah, I think you should bleep that out. Someone might take that.
tape what?
1.75 men.
Oh yeah, that's trademarked. No one can take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't take it. We made it first.
Speaking of I don't know. I'm just trying to segue into the movie. Speaking of the thing that we all came here for, the movie.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Let's
what's the
not
name?
get-
What's the name of the movie? What's going on with it?
The movie is called
Yeah.
Late Night with the Devil.
Okay.
It is a Shudder film that made it to theaters. It's very difficult for a Shudder type movie.
I didn't even know about Shudder.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Shudder used to be Chiller, I'm pretty sure, and it's
Yeah.
like become the I guess, the horror movie part of Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay.
Because Sci-Fi...
Oh, it's an actual channel?
Oh, I think
It-
it's like
it's-
strictly
it's a-
almost like horror streaming.
Yeah, it's horror
Okay.
streaming. Strictly.
Okay.
But this movie is great because we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
But like, this is something I've never thought of before. And that's what I love about a lot of horror movies these days. They're changing it up.
Yeah.
They're changing the formula. They're adding things that are not too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in the wheelhouse of what you know,
Yeah.
but changing and adding some new feature. This movie, Late Night with the Devil, is based on a late 1970s, I believe 1979, talk show host, right? So it's like watching Johnny Carson
Yeah.
in 1979, and with the same kind of camera work and color and an opaque feeling
I thought that
towards
was so
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like they
And
nailed.
sound. Yeah.
They nailed
Yeah.
that look. There's this thing called chromatic aberration. The only reason I know about it is because I fucking edit the video for this. So,
Get a little this guy.
so,
Fucking nerd.
no, it is nerd shit. But yeah, there's this thing called chromatic aberration, and it's like the edges of certain images have like a certain color to them, and like with old style like CRT like film stuff, like sometimes you can see like almost a magenta like outline to like maybe a detail in their eyebrow, or like maybe like the way the light catches like the back of their head as an outline or something like that. And sometimes it's like a green slight outline. It changes color, but it's basically a trick of the lens, a trick of the sensor, and it just happens with like old style shit. It even happens with like modern lenses too. Modern lenses, they try to engineer the glass to make it less of a thing, so it's less noticeable with like modern shit, but super noticeable with like old style footage. And this movie had that, and I was really digging it. Even had like a little bit of the fuzziness, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? The fuzzy film grain of old style movies and shows.
Do you guys know if they shot with any of this like old film equipment,
No.
or did they just like throw an Instagram
post?
filter on it?
I don't know.
I don't.
That's a really good
I
question.
didn't look into it that much. I was just trying. I think I should have.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did.
I don't know, because
Do you think they took a film of it?
It's a budget movie, right?
It's
Yeah.
legit.
I don't think they did. I think,
You think they recorded it normally and then they
changed it in post.
no. What they
No?
did was that's definitely what they did.
Oh, yeah.
They took an actual CRT TV and they just like filmed on the screen
Oh yeah.
to get the real look.
yeah.
It's like, okay, these new TVs these days and screens are very clear,
Yeah.
and let's get that look like they're watching through a cathode ray tube,
Mhm.
Gas, like electric
Analog.
analog
Yeah.
look. Of course, they did in post, yes, but
Yeah.
that's the way I would have done it if I had.
But it was very well
$5.
done.
Yeah.
It was very well done, and I like that style. And it's not like it looked bad.
Mm-mm.
It didn't look bad.
No, it
The
was so
quality was still there. It just had that old aesthetic.
And
Yeah.
what's great about it is this is not something that I think any people can get away with doing another time. It's not.
You mean like making a sequel?
Yeah,
And,
which
like-
would be that would ruin it.
Okay.
Late
That would
Night
ruin
with
it.
the Devil.
Dude, he's
Again.
back. Mr. Wriggles is the late night television host. No,
Yeah.
this is something like if they try doing it again and then try to make a cult thing out of it. No, that's. I think it works for things that are dumb, but something like this, which is far from dumb,
Yeah.
I think is really smart. I really like how it's literally like watching like a late night TV show.
Yeah.
You're watching
Yeah.
it, then the commercials, they add those commercial breaks. They give you those moments and they do real commercials.
Yeah.
And then they go also back into the B side of the story.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. And then the show is like, is this maybe how the producers are like?
Yeah.
How the cast is like? The crew when they're working together? Is it like this? Because the average person, someone like me who doesn't work, and us
Yeah.
who doesn't work in that
It
line,
seems real. It seems like
it seems legitimate.
they capture the hustle and bustle of a live show, quite well because there's that one showrunner guy, and then there's the talent, and then there's all these assistants, and it I don't know, it feels real to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where should we begin? Should we begin from the beginning? Let's say like
I do want to talk about the beginning because I think. How did you guys feel about the intro? Because like the intro is all narration.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if like, and it's not narrated by any character in the story. It's narrated by like
a news anchor.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it just set the point of where they were in that time period, like politically, and also like
Okay,
during
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
satanic panic.
I know. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was
people
around the-
like gave like a lot of shit. People actually fucking cared. They're like actually worried about.
yeah, because the son of
Satan.
Sam, the son of Sam.
Yeah.
You had the Charles Manson,
Yeah.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy, all around the same time frame.
Mm.
Well, Charles Manson was early 70s, wasn't it?
I don't
Well,
know.
he had already been in prison for a bit, but he was still big in the news.
Yeah, serial killers in general were
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. Nowadays, when Satan is on TV, it's mostly like the Satanic Temple. They put up a statue of Baphomet or something.
Satan on TV is a parody these days.
They are a parody, and they mainly do things to like fight for religious neutrality, more so because like there's that whole thing of like this one town or school district, they wanted to put Bibles or like the 10 Commandments in like their elementary schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Satanic Temple, they're like, well, if you're going to put the 10 Commandments, then you should also put the satanic tenets in there because that would make it fair. And then, I don't know. But the Satanic Temple, they don't actually believe in Satan.
Yeah.
They're just trolls.
Yeah.
And like, but like here, like, they're, I don't know, in this universe, it's real, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. At least.
I
Not
wonder,
that we
do you
know
think what's the whole satanic terror or worry during this time period? Were there actual Satanists who like
I think there was like cults.
like
I mean,
prophets?
I think there was. Well,
I think throughout the beginning of Christianity, there's always been
Yeah.
people, Satanists, worshippers, or followers, because,
Mhm.
I mean, in Scripture, Satan was
Yeah.
an angel,
Yeah.
right? And so there are people who follow the positives of it, and it's turned into something else.
Yeah.
Maybe over time, I guarantee there's always been Satanists throughout the history of America, at least.
No, but what I'm wondering is like the Satanists during the 70s and like the 80s, like
I think
are they actually, or were they also trolls? Like,
I think it was probably a combination of the trolls
Okay.
and also probably a sect of people that were just trying to.
just fucking batshit crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
One could
Yeah.
argue that America alone itself was very religious
Yeah.
100 years
Yeah,
ago.
that's
it was,
true.
50 years ago. It
Even
is a
30
lot
years
less.
ago, yeah.
It's a lot less religious now.
Yeah.
There's more thinking.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I'm not saying I personally don't believe in religion.
Yeah.
I know some people do, and I respect that. But there's more of enlightenment when it comes to religion these days.
Yeah.
People are more enlightened. in a
I
different way.
even think like people that are religious today, they're not so brain dead about it.
yeah,
like they're
susceptible to.
yeah, yeah. I think the people that like have faith these days, they also have TikTok and Instagram, and they have a wider view of the world and other people and other cultures and other religions. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's general overall less closed-mindedness. I feel like people are more open-minded these days.
Don't get us wrong. There's still very closed-minded people out there.
Oh yeah,
Well, I
for
think
sure,
with,
yeah. Talk to my
like,
chief.
The
Anyway,
which one? I think with like the advancements of media in general,
Mhm.
it's like progressed and also degressed some things. I think
Absolutely.
that opening shot where they're going through just all like the events that are happening,
Mhm.
whether it's what the fallout of Vietnam, all the serial
yeah.
killers, satanic panic, everything else.
Jimmy
a lot of
Carter.
the Jimmy Carter, a lot of these people, if you think about it, some of these people are just getting like their first televisions. Like around the 70s, like a lot of people, I'm sure they had TV.
Yeah.
But I know my dad growing up only had one TV in the house.
Yep.
And only had a few channels on it, and one of them was probably the news, which had all the exciting shit on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you turn on the news, and that's like one of your only channels you got on, and it's like the news plasters
Satan, bad.
It's
like,
true.
like people are gonna be like, "Holy shit, this shit was real."
The culture
Yeah.
was the news.
Okay, that's true.
The culture was the news. Now the culture is, television in general, TV shows, cartoons.
There's a lot to
Music.
sink in.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you watch one channel, you
Yeah.
dedicate yourself to one channel, whether it's Cartoon Network or Fox News, you're gonna be
Yeah.
like fully enveloped in that one channel,
It's true.
and
Whether
that's gonna be your
you
reality.
are initially
I have
receptive to it or not, over time, it'll have an effect on you
Yeah.
over time.
I have a prime example of that. When if it was 2010, I was in middle school,
Yeah.
and we didn't have any cable.
Yeah.
So all we had was one TV in the house, an old it was a flat screen, one of those plasma flat screen TVs, no cable, and we went to Walmart and got this antenna thing to plug into the TV,
Yeah.
and it gave us 3 channels. It gave us Fox, it gave us I think that WGN network,
The hell is that?
which is I think it's like a Chicago
Yeah.
thing,
Oh.
It is.
Okay.
and so because it was always playing the White Sox. And it gave us like a Hallmark. No, it was a TV Guide net channel.
Oh.
It was like, this doesn't help me at all.
It just tells me all the shit that I can't watch.
So I would only watch Fox.
Yeah.
I'd watch the news there. I'd watch the TV shows, the dramas.
Yeah.
And and then I started watching American Idol. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so invested in American Idol. The one season that I watched, I was like, yeah, I can't believe it. I still remember Scott and McCreery, all these people and their music, and I would just watch their TV shows and get really into it. And then if you look at me now, I'm so much more cultured. And Fox. And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
Fox had that. Wasn't Simpsons on Fox?
yeah, Family Guy,
Family
Simpsons.
Guy.
Well, that's what it was. It was called at the time. It
Yeah.
was called, oh my god, Animation Domination. Yeah, it's Sunday nights.
All right. Hey. Yeah.
Sunday nights. Those are not a thing anymore.
But that's the culture.
That was the culture.
Satanic Panic,
Yeah.
animation domination, taking over the nation.
Yeah.
It's that.
I like that. We should put that in the intro.
What, Satanic Domination?
Satanic Panic
Oh, Satanic Panic.
and
Oh, yeah,
Animation
yeah.
Domination.
Oh, something about the rhyming makes it very. It falls nicely on the ears.
Yeah, Satanic Panic. That's the name of a band, trademarked. All right. Okay, so we learn the main character. The main character is, what's his name
Jack
again?
Delroy.
Jack
Jack.
Delroy. Jack. Jack is
solid name.
solid name.
Yes.
That is such a TV American name.
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
Everyone, his name was Jack or what else? John or Frank. Jack definitely is
Yeah.
something that you see on TV.
I was gonna say Don, but then Don, that's kind of Italian, Donnie.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
Take it easy. Take it easy.
what's out there? Right? This guy.
Oh my.
Jack Delroy.
yes.
Talking. Okay. We learn that he is married and he has a relationship, a really good relationship with his wife, and we find out his wife gets stricken with
Cancer.
The cancer.
the cancer. No specific cancer, I'm pretty sure.
Hair falling kind.
The hair falling kind.
Which is just chemo, but yeah.
Yeah. Probably the early stages of chemo, whenever it became a big old deal.
Yeah.
Before chemo became a big deal. Anyway.
The ghostly kind of cancer.
Yeah. Ooh. Hey.
The killing kind.
That's a little foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. No, I like
Yeah.
that.
He foreshadowed. I like that. The kind of cancer
Foreshadowed.
you die from.
all over it.
The kind of cancer
Yeah,
you
the kind of cancer that makes you kill a demonic child.
We learn, and then
Yeah.
we think about, and what's funny is I'm watching this, and we'll get to it. I think nothing of it. I think it's just drama to add into it to make this guy feel and give him some sort of stakes.
Yeah.
Like his wife is dead, and he really cares about his rating, and even though it really is hurt from it, at least from what we think,
Yeah.
what we see, he still cares about his fans, he still cares about his job, and wants to essentially beat Johnny Carson in the ratings. I like the picture of him, like the cartooning picture of him on the ground, and like his face is all beat up.
Oh, the boxing, yeah.
Oh,
He's in
yeah.
the ring
And it says
corner,
JC on it. Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was like the biggest thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Him and Dick Cavett, right?
I guess. I mean, there's not many other late night shows back then that you can think of that didn't beat out Johnny Carson.
I only know of Johnny Carson, David Letterman, and like the current lineup that we have
See,
now.
Letterman was
Like,
the
that's-
mid '80s when he started, though.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson and Dick Cavett were in their '70s through the '80s.
There was another show. Oh, fuck.
I can't remember who followed. Was it David that followed Carson? I can't remember who took over for Carson.
I don't know.
I think
I have
it's
no idea.
Letterman. I think it was Letterman. There was nobody else after that, because then it was Letterman. They realized the popularity of
Leno.
him. Jay Leno came up. That's
Oh,
true.
yeah, Leno.
He was late '80s, late '80s,
And
right?
it was supposed to be Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, and then
and
he went to TBS, and that's when Jimmy Fallon
they
took
brought,
over.
they brought over
There's a
Leno.
whole
Leno
dra-
came back.
There's a bit
Oh,
of
right.
drama with the Leno and Conan O'Brien. Bit of drama there.
Yeah, they shafted O'Brien
Yeah.
to bring Leno back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went to TBS, and he's doing pretty well.
He's absolutely relevant.
Yeah, he's
Conan
super
O'Brien is
He's quoted for a lot of he says a lot of very interesting quotes that I will not talk about here
yeah,
because I can't talk about this off the top of my head. But things I've heard, I'm like, this guy's very smart.
he is.
I think he's
and
a
he's
Harvard grad.
and he's actually funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn. It's like he's tall, he's funny, and smart. But God had to nerf him and make him a ginger.
Yes.
I love the saying about
Yeah.
like you see somebody who's like perfect in most ways except for one. There's like God nerfed him. 'Cause he'd be too powerful. Anyway, we always get sidetracked. We know it's a thing, but we can keep talking.
The whole announcer thing or narrator thing for the intro, I liked it. I think it fits the aesthetic, but I just kind of felt it was a little long. It felt a bit long to me.
It was long, and then
Yeah.
overall meant nothing.
Kind of, because
There was nothing else after
Because
that.
not only is that intro like a little bit long, but the beginning part of the movie, it builds a little slow. There's like a very deliberate pacing in the beginning, which normally I don't mind. I like a slow burn because like I know that like shit's gonna go down later on. It's just tacking that narrated intro on top of the beginning slow burn. For me, I did start to feel a little bit impatient with like, okay, when are things gonna start happening? And as I was watching it, I didn't really like think about like why does this feel slow? But I think it's because the narration intro is a bit too long in my opinion. Yeah,
I just looked it up. The narrator was Michael Ironside.
I don't know who that is. That's
Starship
a badass
Troopers.
name though.
You remember
Ironsides?
Starship Troopers?
I've never seen Starship.
I've seen only bits and pieces.
Okay. Let's see what else he was in.
Hmm.
Total
mean,
Recall.
He does have an iconic voice, so I'll give him that.
He was in Total
Yeah.
Recall, Top Gun, the Karate Kid, Major Payne, Highlander,
I have no idea what it looks like, so I don't know.
Free Willy.
I don't know.
He played the whale.
The
I forgot that he was in Karate Kid.
I can't believe you guys have only seen bits and pieces or nothing of Starship Troopers.
I mean, like, is it like an excellent film?
The movie
that needs to
only
be a
gets-
part of my repertoire. Like,
The movie only gets better with age.
I
okay,
think there's only a few movies that you absolutely need to see in your lifetime.
I think Star
It's like
Wars is one of them.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
The Godfather, and Starship Troopers.
I don't care what you say. Look up at any forum. Starship Troopers, no matter how bad it is, it only gets better.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't think it's necessary.
I'm not saying it's necessary.
Oh, what are you saying?
I'm saying it's worth watching.
Necessary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Necessary for me to drink my own urine.
No, but I do it anyway because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Is that a quote?
Yeah.
Is that a Starship Troopers quote?
No, it's Patches O'Houlihan.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
From Dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
Oh, really?
My name's Patches O'Houlihan, and I'm your new coach.
I've seen that one.
But I ain't crazy and I ain't a guy. I was like, okay, crazy guy.
Yeah. I've seen Dodgeball. I don't remember. Well, I watched it one time in theaters when it first came out, and I was like middle school, so I don't really know.
I've seen it. I saw it too early in my life.
Yeah.
I should probably rewatch it.
I had
I was
on
probably like 9 years old when I watched it.
I had it on DVD and I had it on PSP when they used to.
PSP.
Yeah, when they made movies for the PSP.
Interesting.
Yeah, PSP was so versatile.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we move forward. And we're learning the stakes of what's going on.
Mhm.
Jack wants to do. He realized that he's dying in the ratings, and if he doesn't do something soon,
Yeah.
he is going to be canceled
Mhm.
from television, and he's going to fade into obscurity.
Yeah.
And that's what he doesn't want. And we learn earlier on that he is part of what is it, the Bohemian Grove,
Yeah. The Grove.
like the which is in the intro or the
Yeah.
narrator talks
As soon
about.
as they said that shit, I'm like, that's some satanic shit. Like, that's obviously some satanic
It's a
shit.
real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Oh, really?
The Bohemian Grove's a real place.
Well, it's called different. It's called a different thing.
It's called the Grove.
Oh.
But it's like a real thing, and politicians, like former politicians,
Rich people.
Do they wear, like, the owl mask?
So they're
Which is
again.
super creepy, by the way.
This is
Yeah.
it's very secretive,
Yeah.
but it's more along the lines of just bunch of
Like
rich
Freemasons?
a bunch of dudes
people,
being guys.
just dudes being literally just dudes being guys camping with other rich people.
Apparently, there's like a big statue. It might be of an owl. I think that's where like the owl motif comes from.
Yeah.
But there's like a big statue. There was some actor. Was it Wilford Brimley? No, it wasn't Wilford Brimley.
Robert Redford.
No, the actor from Grumpier Old Men. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, I've seen it. I just can't remember
He was also in Dennis the Menace.
him. Okay,
He
Oh, what?
voiced this owl. He like had like they had like a big speaker in this owl's mouth, and like like during like ceremonies, this owl would speak, and it was his voice.
Huh.
But yeah, you know, rich boy.
no one actually
boy dude
knows what
stuff.
goes on there, and there's a town around there, and they don't like talking about it. But I think it's like they're paid NDAs not to talk about it because they work there. They're actual people who work there.
Interesting.
It is not. They claim it's not a satanic thing, which
Yeah.
I'm sure it really isn't. I think it's just rich dudes just hanging out.
Is it a sex thing?
That's what. Again, there's another thing where it's like
Yeah.
it's disputed what's going on because again,
Instead
it's
of like
secretive.
instead of like Epstein's Island, is it like Epstein's campground? Like
Yeah, or like the real rich people, like presidents or billionaires.
why can't you just hang out like normal people? God damn it. Why do you have to make a fucking secretive club? You're not special.
Are you saying you wouldn't?
No.
He's a that coming from a non-billionaire.
I don't even go camping. Why
Yeah.
would I go camping for a club that like I don't know.
Because you're not rich and white.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
I'm halfway there.
Ah.
Nice dude.
Yeah, 25% of the way there.
So yeah, no, this as soon as they started talking about this Grove thing, I'm like, oh, he's there's something satanic going on there. Yeah.
Well, they don't make much of it in the intro about the Bohemian Grove. They mention it. But going back to it, he's he's
Well, I'm not saying that like they were trying to hide the foreshadowing. I'm just saying like the movie knows exactly what it is, and the movie knows exactly what it's trying to do. And like kind of presenting in the beginning like, hey, he's part of the secretive cult thing, group, club, whatever. And the movie's they're very clearly saying that it will play a role in the events that will transpire.
Yeah.
Like it's very clearly saying that. And
Yeah, it's
as
very-
an audience member, I'm like, okay, secret society, probably satanic. I'm gonna shelve that in the back of my mind.
in our back pocket.
Keep watching this. And I'm not trying to say that just because I can very easily tell that's gonna be something satanic. That's not a dig against the movie at all. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
'Cause-
you're just
yeah.
aware. You're aware of what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
And you it gives you at least a little clue. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to be sometimes.
And I'm along for the ride, you know?
A movie should allow people to clue together what the conclusion will be.
Yeah, not
think that's
every
important.
movie needs to be like M. Night Shyamalan, like shock you with a crazy twist that you'll never see. Like, it doesn't need to do that. Like, yeah.
I caught myself thinking, honestly, sometimes when I'm watching a movie,
Uh-huh.
I don't care about spoilers. I want to know what happens.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I really want to know what happens.
Yeah.
A movie like this, is something I want to know what happens, but not like just not to where it's going to spoil it. For
Right.
real. I just want to see like, oh, does the main character die at the end?
Mm.
Does he, what happens to him, but not too revealing.
Yeah.
When I'm watching a movie like Dune, I don't want to know what happens at the end. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Right. One of these movies that deserves my full attention.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I think, also was deserving my full attention. I gave my attention and I really enjoyed it. But movie like Dune deserves your full attention, right? But this one, I had myself thinking like, ooh, what's going on? What is here? Like, I'm trying to explain to myself what's going on, especially when we get to the illusion of
What's his face?
when what's his face hypnotizes everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's get to that because like he has the three guests.
Christou.
Yeah, Christou, the
Ooh, yeah.
not the mind reader, but the
He's a magician.
he's a medium.
Skeptic.
Spiritualist type.
Oh, yeah.
Like our spiritualist medium.
Yeah.
And then the skeptic.
Then you have the skeptic.
What was his name?
Carr. Yeah, it's Carson.
Carson.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like a former magician, and
Or
now
Carlisle.
he's just out to basically disprove other scam artists.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
to
yeah.
disprove people in the occult
Yes.
specifically.
Yep. And then you have the psychotherapist with her patient.
Yep.
Or what she calls it, telekinetic psychotherapy or something like that.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something about Carlisle or whatever?
That is he's based off a real person.
Yeah.
Name escapes me, but I guess there was a magician that basically made it his job to disprove like those type of people. Like he would offer money, like cash rewards.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you disprove this guy, I'll give you like this cash reward of however much money.
Was he like the kind of guy who, because in the 70s and 80s, when I looked this up, because hypnosis is real. Like the way people can hypnotize crowds
Yeah.
and individuals is real, right? Not like in the sense of like, I am controlling your mind.
Yeah.
It's more of like
Suggestion.
It's suggestion.
Yeah.
Right. And getting people really just to completely relax and close themselves up. Some people are not more suggestible, so they're not really, it's not going to work on them as well as other people.
Yeah.
That's why hypnotists truly have to like do a little bit of, research on a person
Okay.
and determine if they're,
They also have to have to have like a controlled environment for them to.
yeah,
Okay.
it's more controlled environment. So like when you're on stage, like that's a controlled environment because
Right.
they're professionals, or some people do it for therapeutic reasons.
Yeah. No, I heard about that.
It's heavily therapeutic, but it is a real thing
Yeah.
that people practice for mostly therapy these days.
Mm-hmm.
And then, magicians, or they don't consider them, they become hypnotists,
Yeah.
not magicians, because it's a different type of art form than just normal magic. But this guy talks about the scientific basis of why hypnosis
Yeah.
is there.
Did you? So we were watching this, and Deming and I, we theorized that the hypnotist guy was actually Satan. That's what we theorized in the beginning.
That would have been a cool twist.
And we were expecting that. And then we're gonna spoil this movie. By the way,
Sorry,
we're gonna spoil the shit out of this movie. So if you haven't seen it, like watch that before you watch this. So like before before he gets burnt to a crisp, we thought he was gonna reveal himself to be Satan, and then he would, and the demon inside the little girl would be a lesser demon, and then the lesser demon would be subservient to fucking Carlisle. That's what we thought was gonna happen.
Kind of like how how Jack is the main host, and you have the other guy, the Andy Richter to the Conan O'Brien type thing.
No. Because the reason why is because when the demon first appears, right? They sit down. The lady psychiatrist and the little girl, they sit down, and she draws out the demon from him, and then from her, and then the demon manifests himself or itself in the little girl. And then at first the demon's like, "Where am I? What's going on? What is this?" And that led us to believe that this demon's fucking small fry. He's not a high level demon. He's a low level demon who ended up in this girl, and he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And the most he could do is like make her float. And we were thinking, oh, the real devil is Carlisle, and it turned out to be wrong.
Well, this devil
I think that would have been really cool, though.
They do have a backstory on what
Yeah.
this is. It's based off of an actual, or I guess demon of hell.
I'm still not convinced there's only one demon.
In this movie,
I think there's two demons.
I think there's two. And
yeah.
so when whatever minor demon
Yeah.
is in her,
Yeah.
she's like, obviously that scene where he or she melts that other dude completely down.
Yeah.
That whole scene was like, sorry, hold on, I'm like jumping around. Because,
Sure,
like,
yeah.
It was a crazy ass scene. So the Andy Richter dude, Jack Delroy gave him like, yo, when shit starts popping off, just head out the door. Like literally no one's gonna stop you. Instead, he gets up in like this itty bitty like cross necklace.
The power of Christ compels you.
And yeah, bam.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I'm just like,
As
had that
soon
coming.
as he did that, I'm like, you're dead.
Yeah, you're
you're dead.
come on, bro.
yeah, her face, her head literally split in half. You
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're gonna get her with that?
The entire time, the guy's like, "I'm leaving," and they're like, "You ain't leaving." The showrunner, the producer, he's like,
Yeah.
No, you're not fucking leaving. You'll never work again." And he's like, "Okay." And now when shit's really popping off, he's like, I'm gonna be a hero.
I'm gonna stay.
Never be the hero.
Be the hero. Never
Should've
press
just
the I
ran.
believe button. Never go full retard.
So two demons.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing's going on. Jack steps out the door while like shit starts hitting the fan. His
Yes.
producer pulls him in, like, "Hey, we're getting out of here." But then all of a sudden, like everything goes black.
Yeah.
He's back on stage. Doesn't know where he is.
Mhm.
The show's like starting over.
Yeah.
He's like basically in a
Dream
trance.
sequence.
Yeah, he's in a trance. He's
Yeah.
in this dream sequence, and like the show keeps like changing channels where he's
Mhm.
like different skits. And then the ghost of his wife comes back. Oh, we talked about his wife
Yeah,
before. She was a ghost. She was on set a couple times.
Yeah.
But she comes back, and I think she basically leads him to the conclusion of killing this girl
Yes.
through her, which and then releases the second demon, which is the main one, because I think she was during the news sequence at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
They talked about like that cult,
Uh-huh.
and when they introduced the psychotherapist and the little girl, how she was the only survivor of that fire in the house.
Yes.
It was because she was the last sacrifice to let what was the demon's name? Abercross or
Yeah, it's over the name.
Oh, fuck.
I want to know now.
Albatross, not Albatross.
I don't know.
Abercross.
Abraxas. Abraxas.
So she was, I believe she was the last, she needed to be sacrificed to let out Abraxas.
Okay.
She was the gateway. And then once Jack Delroy kills his wife in that dream sequence,
Yes.
he wakes up and realizes, holy shit, like this whole thing was real,
Yeah.
and he just killed this little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Once the screen goes to black, I don't know if you guys saw at the bottom of the screen.
No.
There was like a little blurb at the bottom of the screen, and it said, it has been done, or like it has been
Finished. Or
begun. Yeah, something like that. It
Okay.
has like it has been done. And I'm like, dude, they just let out Abercrombie and Fitch right now. They let him out, man. Like,
Okay. Huh.
so I think that's when
Interesting.
um
Yeah.
Here I thought I was just enjoying the movie, and then there's way more, because that makes a lot of sense.
yeah. Well,
It makes a lot of sense.
After the movie finished, we went back to the scene where it all goes down, where they're looking, because they play back the footage to see, hey, I was just hypnotizing you. If you look at the footage, there are no worms coming out of you. And they look at the footage, and yep, no worms. Everyone just got hypnotized. It was just a trick of suggestion. That's all it was. And then they were like, okay, why don't we look back at the footage of when the demon came out of the little girl? Maybe that'll be just a trick. And they look back, and no, it's real. And then fucking Jack says, oh, hey, stop the footage. I saw something. Slow it down, frame by frame. They go frame by frame. They see the ghost. And as soon as they see the ghost, the little girl, she's seated right next to Jack. She has this look of terror about her, and then she puts her head down. She has a look of terror about her. She looks at Jack and then puts her head down, almost as if she's bowing. So that's why I believe there are two demons in this movie. The demon in the little girl is a minor demon, recognizes that Abraxas is right behind Jack, bows her head, and then shit pops off.
That is also something that went completely over my head.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Because we were thinking...
We were looking at the picture.
Yeah.
We were trying to be like focused on the picture, not on anything else there.
I mean, obviously, when we first watched it, we didn't really notice. But like Diana and I were talking about it, and then we went back to the footage and looked at what the movie was doing. We also went frame by frame, and we saw that she looks over to Jack, kind of looks above him, has a look of terror on her face, and then puts her head down, and then she keeps her head down the entire time until she gets fucking zapped, and
and starts floating.
Yes.
And then rips
Yes.
head in half.
Because
that was so
that
cool.
level of power,
It's too much for the body to handle.
that level of power, sure, yeah, whatever. But no, that level of power was not on display when the demon first showed itself. When the demon first showed itself, her face had like cuts. She looked fucking demonic, like her face looked demonic, and the chair floated.
Mhm.
That is the extent of that demon's power. That demon can't do anything else besides that, and maybe like give her like a little bit more strength. That demon does not have the power to shoot lightning bolts and melt people. That is not within that demon's power. So when shit started popping off at the end of the movie, we're like, where the fuck did this come from? And yeah, so that's kind of where we had that theory, and we went back to the footage to verify that, and we think it's true. Not only that, fucking Christu, why did he start vomiting the black fucking bile when the little girl wasn't even there? The little girl was at the airport coming to the studio. She wasn't even present when that shit started happening to him. That means another fucking spiritual being must have fucked him up with that sickness. And wasn't the little girl. She wasn't even there.
So what if this is my? I can get that. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can too.
I could definitely see all that. Maybe Abraxas was like always there. He knew that little girl was
I
gonna.
think Abraxas is tied to his wife's spirit somehow.
So I think that as well.
Okay.
Because there was that the time when she was sitting in that chair and she turned over and looked at Jack and was like, "Hey, Jack, I remember when we were there in the woods together."
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, I think a big thing too. I think that whole cult or that whole boys club was to get like him, like his time in like the light.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted. Fourthmost, he wanted his show to be above Johnny Carson's. He wanted to be the most popular, the most talked about talk show host.
He was next in line because they're in charge.
Yeah. But maybe like his wife, her getting cancer, was like his sacrifice.
Absolutely.
That's totally what it was.
Yeah, like him getting it that
What I wonder
sacrifice.
What I wonder is like they obviously what it probably explains is they gave her cancer. Like
the demon gave her
the
cancer.
demon gave her cancer because they brought it in.
Yeah.
And the whole dream sequence at the end where he's killing her.
Yeah.
He's just reliving what he already did. The time where like 2 weeks later after they showed her on TV, because it said they were talking about how together while she's like dying and sickly, talking about their experiences with each other, their memories.
Yeah.
And they talk about 2 weeks later she passed away.
Yes.
That dream sequence, he's actually reliving exactly what he did.
Oh, you think?
I assume that he actually did.
He actually
kill
stabbed
her.
Oh.
And now he's like living with it, and not just, it wasn't just a dream sequence.
Yeah.
It was more like reliving exactly what he did.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's what my assumption is. I think that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
Because maybe it's like, oh, now that he did this and they sacrificed her to Abraxas.
Yeah.
And, he thought it was, because he always thought it was BS. Because he even said that, like, I didn't know it was actually going to be like this. I didn't know that, you would be affected this bad.
Yeah.
He probably killed her and probably knew that she got cancer. He probably never assumed, or maybe probably not kill her, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe, actually, now that I'm saying it, because he explains, like, I didn't know it would be like this. He always thought it was just like, hey, I'm just doing what they tell me to do. I didn't know that they gave you cancer. I didn't know that all this was because of my decisions.
Yeah, I think what the quote unquote deal with the devil he did in the Grove, he probably just said I'll do whatever it takes, or I'll pay any price. And the devil's like, bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll take your wife. And then she got cancer and all that. But I think that's more so what it is. I'm on the fence on whether he actually stabbed her in real life.
Well, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
He now that I think about it, when he said he didn't know it would be like this,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have said that if he killed her.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be like, no, like I have to kill you. Like, he wouldn't be saying that to her. Like, of course. What do you mean? What do you think it would be like? You killed her.
I don't. There's still some confusion on my part regarding the motivation of this demon, and like and why.
I think
Like,
it was
why?
the skeptic. I think his whole thing, like when he described Abraxas, was like he enjoyed what do you call it? Entertainment and like influence. And I think that was his whole thing. And what better way to get that out than on a late night talk show?
Of generally high popularity.
Yeah.
Relative to its...
But not taped live.
Oh.
They're not showing that on TV.
Oh, no.
I think they did.
No, that wasn't live.
I think that was live.
That was all live.
That was all live.
Oh,
They
really?
had-
That was
They had a caller.
Oh,
There was real... It was all live.
so it was all live, and
okay.
so Jack got his wish at the end of the movie. I mean, he now is, instead of like the most famous, he's now like the most infamous
Yeah.
talk show host ever.
Yeah, something to be thought of, like seen like for decades to come.
Yeah.
Something they would talk about in movies
Yeah.
and spawn ideas. You know, one of those. There have been like infamous like news or late night appearances.
Yeah, because the producer in one of like the in between scenes was saying like, yeah, they're remarking this is like one of the most televised events since like the moon landing.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't know how I missed that.
We will actually convene with the devil. Something it says.
I'm still very confused about why this all happened. Like I'm all for an ending where shit goes bonkers. I'm all for that. I like it when that happens. Like 10 Cloverfield Lane, when at the end of that movie, I liked that.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody liked it, but I personally liked it. Hereditary, it's a scary movie. I know you haven't.
Yeah,
you're not,
I'm
yeah.
okay.
Hereditary, the ending of that movie, shit went bonkers, and I was all for it.
I think you're actually missing out not watching it. I know you don't care for horror movies.
If you truly don't, if you Hereditary is so this movie is not scary, right? It's creepy and it's fun and it's like a little bit of shock and like but it's not actually terrifying.
Yeah, it's not dark, jumpy, or eerie.
Hereditary, I think about Hereditary when I think about a horror movie. I think about Hereditary, and there are images in that movie, and there are sequences in that movie that are forever seared in my brain, and it's yeah. I don't think it'd be good for your health.
Yeah.
However, it's an incredible experience. Yeah.
I like how in Hereditary there are parts of things. If you watched it the first time, you most likely missed a few things that were there that you wouldn't know until you watched the second or third time.
Hereditary, and I was actually talking about this with Diana. Hereditary makes sense. The movie makes sense within its own logic.
Mhm.
I don't know if this movie has that. Because we know why they did what they did in Hereditary. We know why, because at the end it's revealed that they're trying to do this.
Yeah.
And everything that happens in Hereditary that's like freaky or crazy or weird, there's a reason for it. There are actors or players in this scheme that whose motivations are clear, but I don't really get that with this movie.
The overall purpose is up for interpretation.
Yeah, 'cause,
while Hereditary, it's all
Yeah.
cut and dry. It's right there.
I don't understand the connection between the fire, the fire that like engulfed all the Satanists, and she's the only survivor. Like I don't fully understand.
I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Okay, yeah, I'm all ears.
I think it all stems from the Satanists. I think, like
Yeah.
I said, I think they were supposedly breeding children for sacrifice to
Okay.
bring up the coming of Braxis. 'Cause
Okay.
that was what this cult was all about. But I think the whole point of the events of that night in this movie were making Jack Delroy the
Kill-
most popular or infamous
Yeah.
talk show host. And it did that. He went to the Grove.
Yeah.
He asked for that.
Yeah.
And it happened through the events of that night.
I mean, overall, that was probably the whole purpose of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
it doesn't, which I agree with you, that's the total purpose of it.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't explain a lot of other things, too. I mean, it doesn't really explain. I don't see the correlation between the devil. I mean, it's already there. It is apparent, but I also don't see any explanation on his wife and the devil. As in, I don't know.
No. He made a deal with the devil in the Grove.
But he didn't really wasn't aware that that's exactly what he was doing. Right? He wasn't aware that that would be legitimately what he was doing. He thought that's just what they wanted to hear. He was doing what they wanted to hear.
Well, I mean, we don't know that.
It still happened, though.
Well, we do know that because he says He didn't know it would be like.
He didn't know that, like, that it would be his wife that would be the price. That's what he didn't know. I'm sure he knew that this is some satanic shit. I'm sure he knew that, and he was willing to pay whatever price. But when he said that, he wasn't thinking about his wife. So I don't think it's a situation where, like, he thought, oh, I thought this was just a camping club, and I'm just doing this weird ritual that I don't know what's going on, but I'm just doing it. I think he knew he was making a deal with the devil. He knew.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't know the price. Yeah.
Do you think
If he knew he was making a deal with the devil, he wouldn't have felt so skeptical the entire time about it throughout the interview.
That's true.
He was literally explaining, like, in his, that he didn't truly believe it until he started seeing things. He never thought this is exactly what he was doing.
Well, I gotta ask a question.
And it wasn't until the dream sequence.
What is his obsession with bringing this girl onto the show? And what is his obsession with bringing the whole occult onto his show?
He wanted better ratings. It was Halloween,
But
it was exactly what it was the perfect thing to do.
okay,
He was like the first person ever to do this,
yeah,
and like he thought the occult, because of the time, it's a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's exactly what
Alright,
it was.
that
He
makes
never thought it would actually. Personally, and it's still staying with us, and it's only growing. My argument here
yeah.
is that he really didn't think. He thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
And then he was just doing the thing that these guys at the Grove wanted to hear, just so he can get his spotlight back, or at least the #1 ratings to stay alive. Especially the fact that he had actually a really good. It seems like he had a very good relationship with his showrunner, with his producer.
Yeah.
Like it looks like they cared about each other. He's like, I'm doing my best to keep this alive.
But why doesn't he? Why is it? It's just they show the little girl and they show the demon coming out of the little girl, and instead of him freaking out, he's like, "Oh my god, this is great for my show." So does he still not believe, or does he?
Well, he's also skeptical. Well, he doesn't. Like, the first thing he's not going to believe is like, no, there's no way it's actually the devil. I did this. If he had truly believed,
He wouldn't have not done it.
He wouldn't have done it, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, you mean wouldn't have not done it?
No, he would not have done it.
No, he would be like, I'm
truly
going to figure
believed.
something else out.
Yeah, let's not summon Satan.
It also seems like, too,
Yeah.
they had him and the psychotherapist had a relationship going on.
Yeah, that too.
That's very, very subtle, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, he wouldn't have done it if he really knew that it was about it. Like, why would he? If he really cared about his wife and he really cared about his wedding, why would he? And he knew this was about the wife too. At that point, if he really knew, why would he?
I guess he was just too blinded by potential success to see the dangers of actual demons.
Oh, that's also a thing. He might have partially believed it.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's
Because
no way.
here's the thing: if you don't believe in demons and you think it's a hoax, and then you do this thing that proves that it's holy shit, it's not a hoax. Shouldn't alarm bells be going off in your head and be like, okay, stop. This is actually real? Oh, fuck it, stop.
I think he had
Shut it down.
He had the blinders on.
But I
too far gone at this
I
point.
guess he had the blinders on. He was too. He wanted the success, and
I mean, the cat's out of the bag at this point.
yeah,
You know, go hard or go home. You've already screwed everything up at this point. Everybody's at liberty to die or whatever goes on. I mean, only 4 people die, right?
Yes.
5 people.
4, 5.
5.
The girl, the psychotherapist,
Yes.
Carlisle, the funny man,
and
that's
it.
Christou.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Christou. He died off screen.
But technically,
Mount Sinai.
the ghost, his wife, Millie.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's 6.
6.
Technically, I
yeah.
think because she knew, like, obviously she died, and I'm sure, like, when her spirit or whatever was crossing a plane, she was probably like, "Oh fuck, I just realized I've been sacrificed for this man's career.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go haunt the shit out of his show. I'm gonna stick around for a bit. And then when she figured out that like his new boo is coming to the show,
Oh.
I think that's when she started fucking around. You're like, oh yeah, I'll give you a good show.
Yeah.
And then when that medium was like,
Yeah.
causing a scene, like
Yeah.
faking his act.
Millie? Is there Millie?
Yeah,
Please,
yeah. And
please
his eyes rolled.
accept.
Yeah,
Well, that's when he got real because he was like
I think
doing the bullshit.
By the way, that's the moment the movie had me.
I know. It was
Yeah.
same. Like I saw that. I'm like, oh god. Okay, all right. Here we go.
Yeah.
But I think that was probably the only time he's ever experienced
Yeah.
an actual interaction
Yeah.
with a past life, and yeah, I think it had such an effect on him, and that's why he like spewed out like all of his organs all over the set.
Yeah.
or how terrified he looked sitting there. He wanted to leave.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be there anymore because like he was obviously a bullshit artist,
Yeah.
right? Making money off of it because that's probably really new at the time in
Yeah.
America and popularity because no one does that anymore. Really, the just choosing a name, you're like working with that.
Yeah.
Because odds are you're gonna find somebody.
Yeah.
Well, that was the
That's a real. That was a guy who got called out in a long time in early 2000s.
the movie we watched. One of the first few movies we did a podcast on.
Oh. Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Oh,
What's that?
Oh my God! It's all the Devil's Alley, right?
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah,
Nightmare Alley.
Christo's Alley, right there.
That's exactly it. Yeah, dude, I want to watch that movie again. Actually,
Yeah.
I totally would watch it again.
Where was I going with that?
Yes.
I forget.
Mm.
What were you saying? What?
I think
Yeah.
she was doing hijinks before any of the real shit started popping off, and I think
Yeah.
she was just kind of like had like a side hustle going on, and then all of a sudden like shit started popping off, and she was just kind of sitting behind her husband's shoulder, and when that minor demon like looked over and like, oh, we got this ghost in the room.
But she made Christo die because he left before she came in, right?
I don't think she made Christo die. I think Christo was just having some sort of reaction from
maybe-
actually having
No.
an interaction.
There's something demonic going on.
Abraxas brought her with him.
Here's what I think.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
think it's her. I think it's Abraxas posing as her.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because
But I don't think Abraxas showed up yet until the girl at the end of the movie.
He could have
got
been there the
Abraxas.
entire time because of the
Abraxas'
contract.
presence was there the entire time.
Because of the contract.
Because think about it, like when he shows up proper, he's like this electric fucking like demonic, like almost like it almost reminded me of like a biblical angel because they look freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It almost looked like that, which makes sense because demons are fallen angels.
yeah.
And like if he's a proper like high demon, then he was probably a high level angel in heaven, which is probably why in his true form he looks kind of angelic, kind of almost sci-fi. It also almost has like a sci-fi, like almost like a light alien kind of look. It doesn't look demonic. Like what we went back and we stopped the frame when her head split open and it's like this light thing. It doesn't look demonic.
No.
It's just like a split head.
Yeah, it looks like an energy ghost or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So where was it? What was I saying? The theremin. The theremin has like an electric fucking feedback thing going on. Clearly demonic. And by the way, the demon and the little girl wasn't even there. The little girl wasn't even there. Wasn't even at the studio yet when that shit happened. That's clearly Abraxas doing that because Abraxas is a lightning fucking demon. So that's Abraxas fucking around in the studio, just hinting at his presence.
He could have brought her along with him because she was a sacrifice. He could have brought her there, like, hey,
You mean the little girl?
No, his wife.
What do you mean?
You think Abraxas and
Oh,
his
you mean
wife were-
Abraxas's wife brought
No.
no, sorry,
Jack's wife
Jack's
was brought
wife's-
along.
The ghost of Jack's wife
Was brought along with
brought
Abraxas.
Abraxas,
No.
or Abraxas
Brought her.
Okay.
That's a different theory.
I don't know.
Maybe like
I'm not
Abraxas
sure.
used like the ghost just to kind of like fuck with Jack.
I don't think that's really Jack's wife. I think that's just Abraxas playing tricks.
I would like the writers of this movie to
Yeah.
give me some answers. I want some answers. That's
Listen,
what I hate about it. I want some fucking answers.
you can find our page on YouTube. Give us answers.
Yeah.
We won't get back to you on another episode.
give us answers.
Hey,
Don't give us
but
cancers.
I know we haven't talked about it, but I want to talk about it. This movie is only 90-some minutes long.
Yeah.
I love how slim this movie is. It's
Yeah.
very to the point,
It's the length.
lean.
It's the length
movie.
of a late night television with commercials.
Yep.
About an hour and a half.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah. I appreciate the shortness of this movie.
And packing a lot of material in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
I think this movie punches way above its weight. Personally, I am a little confused about the motivation of the plot and like motivation of some like demonic shit. But I think the overall effect of the movie, it's really it hits. I think it hits
It's
pretty hard.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to hit on it too. Well, maybe not a lot more. I think we covered.
I don't think you can, because it's so lean. I think you could forgive a lot of missteps.
Yes.
Like
How
yeah.
how few there are though. I personally believe there's not many.
I don't think there are that many either.
I think it's a handful, and that's the things are like, yeah, that's completely okay. It's something called it's like tolerable data loss.
Yeah.
Very so tolerable. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's irrelevant, slightly.
Mhm.
I mean, if it only becomes relevant if you make
Yeah.
it relevant, and it's relevant to us because we're talking about it. But overall, it's like, yeah, I enjoyed every moment of this movie, and I felt creeped out, but not too creeped out. I felt uneasy.
It's not. I find there aren't many movies that actually terrify me. Like
No.
the list of movies that terrify me is a really short list.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I think one movie that
Yeah.
terrified me.
I mean, how did you feel watching this movie? Like, yeah.
So up until recently, I think like since we started this podcast,
Mhm.
I've started opening up
All right.
into watching more horror.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm not afraid of gremlins anymore.
Okay.
I've gotten past that. That was like terrifying for me as a kid. And then what was the first one we watched?
Barbarian.
Barbarian, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
when I know I said it before, like I still to this day put people on to Barbarian. My own students, you got to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like the sassy old black lady, and they're like, "Don't go in there," gripping my seat
Yeah,
and gripping my
yeah.
hair.
Yeah,
Watching this movie,
It's so well done.
It's so
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
So like with this movie, I think up until the point that Crisco, he was just like, standing in front of the TV. They're about to go to commercial break, and he's, oh wait, and then his eyes roll back into his. I'm
Yep.
like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yep. Yep. Strap in, boys. The movie started.
That's kind of when I'm.
Please accept. I like
Yeah.
how his accent went away too.
I did notice that.
His
too.
accent went away.
Yeah.
His facade went away because it was real.
Yeah,
What he was seeing was,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it when
and then went
there's-
back into character. That
Yeah,
went
he did.
away.
I like it when a con artist actually has skill, but then his con artist ness
He gets outplayed.
gets stripped away when confronted with the real fucking thing. And yeah. Hey, real quick, what'd you guys think about Carlisle at the end? He got on his knees and he was like, "I will serve you, Lord of the Flies." Like what do you guys make of that? Like, do you think he was a secret Satanist, or like what's going on there?
No, I think he's a guy who's like, all right, I fucked up. I mean, speaking of as a guy who
Yeah.
believes in realities, right?
Yeah,
And it's like I'm only to accept the scientific fact and reality of what is there.
yeah,
And now he's seeing it in person. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna flip the switch and hit the I believe button immediately because that's his reality.
Yeah,
and you can't
yeah.
fake it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's right there. So yeah, he's a person who believes in the truth.
All right.
And so he's like, all right, this is the only way to save my life here.
But I didn't you guys find it weird that like he knew all these titles for the demon? He's
I don't think so. I think
Really?
till the end he was a man of his word.
Oh,
Because I mean,
okay.
to this demon, he's holding
gives
up
him
this
the
check.
check.
He's like, "Listen, man, you proved me wrong. Take the money."
Oh yeah, you're right.
You proved me wrong.
You're right. Okay, no, he did do that.
Money?
Yeah.
And then he says, oh shit. I think the last thing he says is like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, it's done. He's like, he knows it's over. The check didn't work out. Well, the check was burning right 1st, right?
Yeah, he said abracadabra, and the check burnt up, and then he started melting. No, he started. It's electricity. He got electrified.
Didn't they say abracadabra was what God said or something like that when creating like life or something like that?
No.
No, abracadabra came from Abraxas.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what they
Abraxas.
said, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Abracadabra. I wonder. I looked it up and see if it was true. I don't remember what I read. I think it was skimming over. I didn't care too much. I wonder if that's true.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Maybe.
That's pretty much all I have to say about this. I just was really excited to watch it because when I remember I was in
Did you
the
see a
theaters.
trailer of it? How'd you find out?
I was
about
in
this
I was in the theaters,
Oh, okay,
and then I was in the theaters and I saw a trailer, a preview for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks interesting.
Mm.
I really wanted to see it. I wanted to see. It was weird. It's like I see it in the movie theaters I go to, but they only played it for one day
Yeah.
on a freaking Tuesday.
I think it's really sick that David Dastmalchian, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Dalmatian.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I really can't say.
I think it's really cool that he's getting shot.
I know.
Because he's always the side character. And
Yeah, he plays like weirdos.
He plays a
Yeah.
strange person.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Prisoners, Suicide Squad, Dune,
Dune.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah, he was the guy who shot Commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. He's playing the creepy dude. He did. I mean, I liked him. I loved him in Prisoners.
Yes.
Him.
He's so good at playing like a nervous, like
The first
fucking
Dune. He was
freaky
in.
guy. Oh yeah, he was the mind, one of the mentats. He was, and he got smoked out by fucking
Oscar Isaacs.
Oscar Isaacs. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Shall we pass the torch? I believe it's Jonah.
Yeah.
And
is Jonah.
lay it on us. What do you got?
All right, next movie.
Yeah.
I thought to keep it close to home, preferably the home that we're living in now and not our actual,
Connecticut?
Yeah, Connecticut home.
A Connecticut movie?
It's a Connecticut movie.
Haunting Connecticut.
No,
Oh,
that's
no.
absolutely disgusting.
It was so bad. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, Mystic Pizza.
Ooh, whoa. Hey, I've never seen Mystic Pizza, and I'm about it.
We could just go to Mystic Pizza and watch it.
No, we're not going to Mystic Pizza. No, their pizza's god awful.
That's
Terrible.
That's another reason why I'd like to talk about it.
Terrible.
I fucking hate their pizza,
Yeah.
and I want to watch this movie with you guys.
That gives me a
Cool.
reason to watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, years ago,
Yeah.
probably 15 years ago. I was
Oh,
I was
okay.
younger.
Shall we go to Mystic Pizza and watch the movie?
That's what I just said.
They
You
have it
said
playing
no.
on a loop.
I know,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I've been to Mystic Pizza.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah. How else would I know that their pizza is awful? I have tried it.
it's kind of like Lebowski's in Scotland.
They have a Lebowski's in Scotland.
It's like 3 bars in Scotland called Lebowski's where
Only
they
serve
play
White Russians.
yeah different variations of White Russians. And,
Oh my
Big
God.
Lebowski.
I've never had a white. It seems. I would not put dairy in my alcohol. That seems weird.
It's just vodka and cream.
I guess.
I mean, have you ever had
Irish
Kahlua,
coffee?
Irish coffee, Kahlua and Bailey's?
I guess. All right. I guess that's not too far off.
Well, anywho, Mystic Pizza.
Mystic
Mystic
Play,
Pizza.
play us out, Johnny.
You got it, Bob.
Flick. Burn, burn. Flick. Flick. Burn. Burn, burn. Flick.